Okay, so guys, I'm going to be using, showing you guys some brushes that I recently bought from alot.com, and I'm going to give you my opinion. And also, I have also been getting quite a number of requests on what brushes do I use, what do I use them for, how do you blend and stuff like that. So I thought today I would just kind of do like what type of brushes I use for what and for when. I know this lens is quite annoying, but I can't shoot a minute right now. It is midnight and I can't exactly wake my sister up to come in, like, please can you come and put me in focus. So please bear with me. I promise you I'm going to mute the rest of the video and I'm going to do a voiceover so you guys won't have to be bothered. But I just kind of wanted to give you guys my opinion on the brushes. I kind of feel as though okay, so this were the brushes that I have from takealot.com. I forgot the name of the company actually because I bought them like I think a month and a half ago. I just never had an opportunity to shoot with them. So like I paid 250 rand for this entire brush set. You think like that is like quite affordable. Yes, it is affordable, but for kind of 250 rand I kind of feel like it wasn't worth it. I kind of feel like the brushes look really cheap, and I kind of feel like the bristles as well, as soft as they are, they tend to come out. There are a few of them that came out, although they're still intact as from now. I did use the foundation brush right now. If you see it's a bit dirty, I use the foundation brush as well as another brush just to powder my face a bit. And to my surprise, that actually worked really, really well. But I kind of feel, I don't use brushes, but I still kind of feel like I should have went over it with a sponge just to kind of remove the excess, because I kind of feel like I'm cracking, guys. But although it did give me a nice finish, I still kind of feel like I should have went over with my sponge. Yeah, but anyway, like I said, you guys, I don't think it was worth it. I kind of feel like maybe I should have just gotten a brush set from Switch Beauty. I could have added a 50 rand extra and gotten a nice set of brushes from Switch Beauty, from Do Factory, and really good, nice quality, good brushes for that amount. I just don't think this was worth it. But as cheap as they were, to my surprise, the wands are quite stable. So yeah, that's something that I was really worried about when I looked at them. I'm like, oh, these wands look like they're gonna break tomorrow, but they are actually quite stable. So anyway, let me stop blabbing. Let's get straight into this video. Yeah. Okay, so this is the brush I use for foundation. I just used it now. That is why you see it's so dirty, and you can feel it's quite soft. I would have liked for it to be a bit more dense and soft, if that makes any sense, but it worked quite well. And this brush, this brush is a bit flat. It's not round enough, so I kind of just use it for packing on powder. And these are the flat brushes that are in the packaging. They are quite thick. They are soft. Again, I would like for them to be a lot more denser and a bit more thinner for a flat brush. And this is the blending brush, the short blending brush. As you can see, the blending brush is rounded, it's fluffy, and that is how a blending brush needs to be. Again, this is another blending brush. This is a big fluffy blending brush. I normally just use that for transitional sage. This is an angle brush. This is also nice for again, like if you want to apply powder under your eye area. You can also try adding concealer with it because it's nice and it's angular, or your contour. And this is another blending brush. I don't know if it was intended for blending brush, but it's quite hard, so I would rather use it for concealer. And this fan brush is actually for highlighting, but like I said, the last blending brush is quite hard, and I think it's actually meant for application, like to apply your concealer. So as you can see, I'm using the flat brush right now just to apply some foundation over my eyelids, just so that we can go in with some eyeshadow. The flat brushes work quite well. It's a flat brush anyway, but I would have preferred for them to be a lot more thinner, because like flat brushes that, you know, sometimes you need them to add more precision. I just kind of feel like they're a little bit too thick for a flat brush. And now with my eyelids wet, I'm gonna go in with some eyeshadow. And I'm going to be using this is actually the flat that blending brush, the one that was rounded. It's also a bit like it's short and it's a little bit flattish, so I like these type of brushes to like pack on the product because they're short, they're not too fluffy, so you see they pack on eyeshadow very nicely. And like I said, when you adding your foundation, your eyeshadow over your wet lids or concealer, it really just brings out the eyeshadow. Like, look how the shade is just popping. And when you use a packing brush like that, it packs on the eyeshadows really nice. As you can see here, I'm just trying to do an example of how I would use that brush. You can use that brush all over the lid for your transitional shade because it's quite big, but I love blending out my eyeshadows as well as using it for my transitional shade. As you can see, I'm going to use that big fluffy blending brush to just blend out the edges of my eyeshadow. You don't want to blend over your whole lid, just on the edges, just to like feather out the eyeshadow. And I think they actually work pretty well. Obviously they're not 100% perfect, but they look cheap, but they don't feel as cheap as they look. And like I said, the ones are actually very, very stable. So I think just the design, they could have did better with the design. It wasn't very nice. And again, I'm just packing on more of that eyeshadow on my outer corner just to darken it a bit. Because sometimes when you're blending it, you kind of lose some of the pigmentation. Like I said, that's why it's best for you to just blend out the edges. Can you see how nicely and feathered the edges are? You just kind of want to make sure you blend, and that is what I'm using this fluffy brush for, just to blend out any product. And I'm using the shorter one to pack on the product. Now this one, like I said, this one is a bit hard, so I kind of feel like I would rather use this to apply concealer. But generally with a tiny blending brush, they mostly use for precision, to get into those areas, to darken the creases. And as you can see, it's working well, because you kind of don't want to go over the transitional shade that I just used. Because I actually did use another shade when I used an orange shade on my fluffy brush. I forgot to mention that, like on this fluffy brush, I just dipped it into a little bit of a lighter shade for my transitional shade. That I actually forgot to mention, sorry. So you kind of don't want, you see how much precision it gave you there? It just kind of allows you to just stick the foundation exactly where you want it to be. And I'm using that short blending brush, the one that I use for packing on, as you can see, just to blend that out even further. And again, I'm going back in with the fluffy brush, but this time I didn't put any product on the brush. I am just going in just to blend everything, and so that everything's seamless, so there's no harsh lines. But as you can see, the foundation is still exactly, I'm saying the powder, the darker eyeshadow is still where I want it to be. And that's what I would use a tinier brush for, just to give you some precision. So I'm just showing you guys how I use these tools, and I'm going to use the smaller brush, this and I'm going to pack that under my eyes. And it's very nice because this brush is actually it's fluffy, it's thin. You can use it for blending, you can use it for packing on, because it's just, you know. Now you can see I'm going in with my flat brush. I normally use my flat brush when I want to pack on my shimmers. Obviously a flat brush you're not going to use to blend. You're just going to use it to apply your shimmer shades especially, or even if you want to apply a matte shade over the lid area. Again, it's going to pack the product on more. It's going to give you more precision. As you can see, the lines of the eyeshadow are a lot more sharper when you're applying it compared to using a fluffier brush. So this is going to so this is what you're going to use this brush for when you just want to have when you want to pack on your shimmer, when you want a lot more precision, or if you want to do a cut crease, you can use your flat brush just to kind of carve your eyes out and stuff like that. As you can see now, I'm going in with a gel over that eyeshadow because I'm going to pack some glitter over my eyes. You can actually use a clear gel. I actually prefer using a gel, because the gel that I got sorry for the noise, the primer that I got from Essence, I don't like that glitter primer, and I kind of feel like I'm just going to stick to using a clear gel. It really packs on and holds the glitter way better. So I think I'm just going to use a clear gel from now on. So that is actually like a little hack that you guys can do if you don't have a glitter gel or holder, whatever you want to call it. Just use a clear gel over your eyelid. So yeah, guys, just mind that noise. I hope you guys don't hear that. I'm sorry, it's in the daytime and there's people around, and I'm recording a voiceover. So now this is actually a brush from my Urban Decay. As you can see, it's very tiny, it's very little. I normally use it for my inner corner. You can also use that under your eye. You can see like this was the powder brush that was in the brush. Like I said, this brush is a weird brush. It's kind of flat and fluffy, so you could use it like I'm doing now for my powder. What I like to do with my under eye area, just to clean out those edges and like fluff them out even more, is go under with my powder brush so that it blends out really nice in the bottom area. Yeah, so now I'm adding some highlighter, and this is from the NYX. This brush actually worked quite well, and I think I'm actually going to start using fan brushes for my highlighter, because I've actually never used a fan brush, and I like how light it is, because I know sometimes with me I can get so heavy-handed when I'm using highlighter. So I think this fan brush is going to become a favorite of mine, because to be honest, I've never used a fan brush. This is actually my first time using a fan brush, and I really needed a new set of brushes, because I'm the type of girl who, like, I'm like a cheap girl. Like, I will use the same set of brushes for myself until they're like worn out, and I'm like, okay, I need a new set of brushes. And I definitely need a new set of brushes, because I don't see the point in having 1,001 brushes. Although I do want more brushes, I kind of feel like I do need a bigger collection. So I'm going over again. Like I said, you can use your brushes. You can like just use them in whichever way you feel comfortable. Like this is actually a fluffy brush from Essence, and just to pack on more product, like the because obviously that's going to pack more products, I just went over with a fluffy brush, and I think I wet my, yes, I did spray my fan brush just to make that highlighter pop even more. I don't know if you can see the lines on my forehead, guys. Like, I never have problems with foundation sinking into my lines, but this brush, the foundation brush, actually applied quite nicely, but I kind of feel like I still needed to go in with my fluffy brush, with my sponge, to pick up the excess, because you can see how it's seeping through my expression lines, which is so nice, and I never have that problem. As you guys saw, I was kind of using this angle brushed. I use it for blush, but like I said, you can use it for powder, you can use it for concealer, because it's nice and angular. Yeah, so I hope you guys have a feel of what and when to use your brushes, but whatever makes you feel comfortable. I know when I normally powder my face, like this brush sheet didn't have a big huge powder brush, and I love using a big brush for my powder, or even for my bronzer. Like, I like using a nice big brush, but I'm just using this angular brush just to do my contouring, and my, yes, over my nose as well, because it's nice and angular. I like doing my chin just to give it more definition and make it tinier. Yeah, so we're going in with some Huda Beauty lipstick. This was actually not meant to be a tutorial, guys. If I'm not explaining very well, please do forgive me, because it was not, it's just a demonstration of how I use the brushes that I bought. So yeah, I don't know what I'm saying or doing, because my mind is all over the place right now, so just forgive me as well. And I kind of went over with some gloss just in the high points, just to make my lips pop a little more. And you know how gloss makes your lips look bigger, so yeah.